Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is an all NBA player that signed a considerably sub-max deal. This has never really happened before, right?
Yep.
This is something that we've just never really seen. Jalen Brunson has 5 years, $181 million left on his contract. And if you look at like the percentage of cap over the course of the life of his extension, and let's be clear, the 5th year is a player option on that last year. So like, who knows what it'll look like. But in the 4th year, so 2027, 28, Jalen Brunson will in all likelihood, still be an all NBA player or something approximating it, who's going to be making 21% of the cap. Certainly in year 3 of the deal, I think we all assume he will still be an all NBA player. He's going to be making 22% of the cap. Guys like Cade Cunningham, guys like Franz Wagner, their percentage of the cap is going to be higher than what Jalen Brunson's is. And we love those guys. Like we think that those deals were good and they made a ton of sense for those teams. And like, we're not hating on those. But for Jalen Brunson to have decided to do this, like the Knicks are in a massive advantage moving forward. And he is, to me, just like very clearly the best non-max deal in the league.
Yeah. And that's so I just want to be clear because, like Shea's numbers are only a little bit higher than Brunson's. Shea's not eligible for this because Shea is on an actual max coming off his rookie deal. And then, and then his next one, I was just kind of reading about that, is going to be silly. But yeah, I mean, like Brunson's just so much less than all first team all NBA guys. It's just so much less than the 50 million that a lot of these other guys are making on their deals. And so even at 35 million, it's just like, what's Jokic's percentage of the cap? Jokic is at 36% of the cap, and he's obviously worth it, right? We talked about that already, but Brunson is at 23% of the cap. It just leaves so much other flexibility for this team. There's so much more margin for error when an all NBA level player that does everything that Brunson does is only making 20% of the cap. It makes a lot of other things a lot easier for that organization.
Yeah. So 29 points per game, 6.7 assists versus only 2.4 turnovers, shot 48, 40, 85 from the field, got to the line 6.5 times per game, took 7 threes per game. Like, the shot diet is ridiculous on some level. He gets to the foul line a ton. He makes threes a ton, but also like he has that incredible mid-range game. He has the incredible like 2-foot jump stop game, always constantly playing off or on balance, off of 2 feet, always ready to just be able to fire. He is an impossible guard right now for opposing teams. And yes, as with any small guard, there is some downside to this deal. Undeniably. If he was to get hurt, who the hell knows like what the explosiveness would look like. But you can say that about like just about anybody, right? You can say this stuff about arguably any player. I think that with smaller guards, the risk is probably a little bit higher than with other players. But seriously, not only is he going to be a 29 point per game guy probably moving forward, or 28 to 30 or whatever it's going to be, he passes well. He's a great teammate. He's like a clear leader for this organization. He's surrounded by like a perfect roster to play around him, right? Great rim protection with Mitchell Robinson when he's in there. Unbelievable perimeter defenders in OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Great shooters like Dante DiVincenzo. Has Deuce McBride that he can lean on defensively as well from time to time if necessary. The footwork is elite. The touch is elite. The balance is elite. The handle, I think, has gotten better than what it was at Villanova. I think that's probably been like the biggest improvement, is his ability to keep a live dribble just consistently off the bounce. He is just an absolute savage, being able to keep a live dribble while also maintaining balance. It is something.
So let's compare it to the guy that we talked about at the top, Jamal Murray, right? We talked about like this is a little bit scary, a smaller guard who injury history and all that. Jamal Murray will make $13 million most years more than Jalen Brunson. So like 26, 27, Jamal Murray is making 50 million and Jalen Brunson is making 37.7. 27, 28, Brunson's at 40, Jamal Murray's at 53.8. Jamal Murray's 27 season. This is age 28 season for Brunson. He just turned 28. So just think about how much less that is, even when there is some injury worries with a guy that has all this usage and all of that. And then you gave the regular season stats, Sam. How about the playoffs? And, the last 2 years combined. So 24 games, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 6.5 assists, only 2.4 turnovers, 46% from the field. Hasn't even shot well from 3 in the playoffs the last 2 years, 32%. But 82% from the line and getting there almost 8 times. So he's translated that ability to get to the free throw line into the playoffs. And so he's done it in those moments. Even with Dallas in 21-22, he had a good 18 games where he averaged over 20 a game. He's so good. He's so good. He's way better than I thought he was going to be. I kind of questioned his ability to, how many series could they win with him as their best player. When they're healthy, I don't have that question mark as much.
Yeah. And, Rachel in the comments actually brings up a really good way to think about this.
It's an
right?
awesome way. Yeah.
So both Jalen Brunson and Jamal Murray signed extensions this summer, right? So it is kind of apples to apples in terms of position, scoring guard player type, everything, right? For the price of Jamal Murray, the Knicks have both Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo.
Yep.
Right. That's just the difference, right? Like this discount allows them to have Dante DiVincenzo for the same price as what Denver is playing Jamal Murray. That's a huge, huge difference because we have Dante DiVincenzo on this list, right?
Yeah.
As one of the best contracts in the league. So yeah, to me, what Jalen did for the Knicks is completely invaluable. He is an absolute, superstar player. And if I was, a Knicks fan, I mean, my God, I mean, if they were to win a title, Jalen Brunson is immediate. Like that guy's going to immediately go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah,
I am genuinely fascinated to see how this Knicks season goes. One of the 3 or 4 teams I'm most excited to watch this upcoming season.